Hey, what's up, gang? It's Adam from the CommanderSmiths, and it's Spotlight. It's a Spotlight deck. It's been a little bit since I've made a deck. I think since this summer, sometime this summer. Was it Tom Bombadil? No, I didn't build. The hell did I build last? I built something. Oh, well, we had Tom Bombadil. I had something else. Whatever. Okay, so I'm working on a new deck. I don't even remember what the last one was. So Lowry and I are going to be doing kind of a Will and Rowan kind of battle. He's doing the life loss. I'm doing the life gain. Basically, how this video is going to work is I'm going through everything that I had as an idea, and then I'll be whittling cards down here. But a lot of this is going to be basically all the cards that I kind of came up with. The basic idea here is you want to gain life and you want to utilize all that life gain. So I have a couple ideas. What I really want to do is there's a lot of, with blue and white, you have a lot of X spells, and Lowry, I think, is going to be doing the same with Rowan, doing an X spell thing. God dang, Mike, just stay where I want you to stay. So I'm going to utilize the X spells as well. But I kind of, what I wanted to do was get kind of more of a draw angle on things, because there are so many X spells that are drawing cards. And so I was like, well, if I could draw cards and use something like Psychosis Crawler to damage the board at the same time, that'd be great. But the problem is with white and blue, you don't have a lot of the damage the board for drawing. You have that with like Nekasar decks, but that adds in your red and your black. But for white and blue, you don't have so much. So I'm still kind of in that angle, but I think I'm going to have a bunch of X spells and some really game-changing, game-winner spells, like Omniscience. I know I'm not saying it right, but that's why I like to say it. Omniscience, where you gain a bunch of life and then utilize that to cast it for 2, or 3 or whatever it is. And then you just drop your hand. Or there's a bunch of cards, or we'll go through that here in a little bit. And then also I think I'm going to utilize the untapping and tapping. So the cool thing with this, with Will Scion of Peace, which I'll read it here, is 1 colorless, a white and a blue, has vigilance, which is meaningless for this. But when you tap it, spells you cast this turn that are white and or blue cost X less, where X is the amount of life you gained this turn, activate only as a sorcery. So that's the key part with the sorcery. But if you find a way to untap Will using any sorts of spells or artifacts or whatever, let's say you gain 5 life. You gain 5 life, you tap Will, now your spells, the generic mana cost 5 less. If you're going to untap him and tap him again, now everything costs 10, because it's compounding on each other, because it's saying where X is the amount of life you gain. So the first time it's already 5 less. Now you're getting 5 again. So what I want to do with this deck is there's kind of a mix of things. I'm going to have to really pinpoint how I want this to go. As you can see, I have 222 cards. This does include the lands. So I've quite a bit of cutting to do here. I'm hoping that I can finish that here. We'll see. I'm hoping. And then we'll get to the play testing and all that stuff. Not tonight. I want to keep this under 2 hours. It's kind of our goal for the Spotlight decks. We don't want this to be terribly long. But first off, let's just start going through the cards that I have on here. I may do some cuts as I'm going. A lot of times I come back and do cuts. But if there's obvious ones, I will cut them right away. Okay, so let's get started. I guess we're starting with this is not how I organized it. It's just I'm naming stuff and it's going by alphabetized, I believe. Dave Drake. Yeah, so D, D, D. Okay, so maybe we work our way from the bottom to the top. Let's see, what's our bottom here? Okay, yeah, let's work our way from the bottom to the top. All right, so if you can see here, we have a bunch of the X spells. So we have Blue Sun's Twilight. So you're going to, if you get this, your X down, you're only paying 2, and then you can gain control of target creature with mana value of X or less. If X is 5 or more, create a token copy. So you gain control of a creature, so you're stealing somebody's stuff and also making a copy. That's pretty brutal. Sorcery X speed is actually perfect, because that's how you're casting everything in this. We do have some instant stuff in here too, because you can utilize those, not having to do them on your turn. You can do it on other people's turns as well. So that's the other thing, is I really do Lowry did mention in the cast this week that he's going to have some anti-life gain stuff, which is fine. I don't want to build this that I'm basing it off of not gaining life, but I do want this to survive if I'm not able to utilize that gain life and the X stuff. So there is going to be a lot of ramp in this to get my stuff out so that if something goes wrong or I can't get my commander out, it gets killed too many times, that I can still win the game by doing the things I want to do. So, okay. So Blue Suns, Twilight, Curse of the Swine. So just imagine all this stuff that you're getting. That X is going to be free. It's going to be basically like 5, 6, 10. You know, it could easily be that I was play testing a little bit last night and I had at one point 21 because I gained 7 life and I was able to untap my will, and I had a Sakashima one. So I had 2 of them out there. And so I gained basically 21 and I was able to it was crazy. I mean, it's Goldfishing, you're not playing anybody, but if it would have gone off, it was going to be insane. So this is your removal. We got Disorder of the Court, exile X target creatures, then investigate X time. Return the exiled cards to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So this one you could use as a protection. So I kind of like that. But then also you're getting the investigate, so you can get some draw stuff with this. We liked this when this card came out. Extraordinary Journey. This one, if it's the XX, so let's say you gained 6 life, the XX would count for 3 and 3. So you wouldn't get 6 and 6. It's obviously you're using the X and the X, so you have to split it in half. But when it enters, you exile X target creature. So this is another kind of removal. The owner may play them for as long as they remain exiled, but whenever one or more non-token creatures enter the battlefield, if they entered from exile or cast from exile, you draw. So you're kind of doing a temporary exile. And then when they end up casting them again, you're drawing off of that. So it's a little bit of a benefit there. Dangerous though, right? You have exile. Yeah. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Project X. Dangerous though? You have exile. Okay. So are you talking about this one? Oh, exile. Then investigate X time. But the exile, they will return tapped, so you can protect yourself with these. Not this one. This one, you can protect yourself. That's a couple of these. We got, so Finale. We have a few of these where you're doing the X and getting creatures. So one of the game winner ways is I do want to use the new Crater Hoof, but it's the white one that gives them flying. Curse of the Swine. Oh, yeah. Dangerous, yes. Well, dangerous for them because I'm going to wipe their crap out. So I got a couple of these spells like Grand Crescendo. So this will add some tokens onto the battlefield, but then also gives your stuff indestructible. So kind of pseudo protection. I'm going to see what else we have. Secure the Waste. Getting creatures there. Where's my other ones that give me creatures? White Sun's Twilight. Love this card for this because you're gaining life, creating tokens. And if you want to, you can wipe the board. You can pay 5 and destroy all other creatures, and then you have all the creatures on the board. So if you're at that 21 extra, you're getting 21 of these things that have toxic 1, and they can't block, but then you destroy the board, and you're basically winning the game because you have 21 things that are going to do poison damage and poison, the toxic ones. So you're going to be able to wipe people out, 2 players out at once. So that's kind of nice. White Sun Zenith gets shuffled back in, but you get tokens. Again, these are at instant speed, so they're kind of nice there. I think that's it for my... Oh, no, this guy too. So a first battle I might put in a deck. The Invasion of New Phyrexia. So the flip side's okay. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature. I do like the emblem. Like if you were creating all these knights there, and then you pump them up, they're actually 2 1s with ward. Right away you can do that. In the second turn you can turn them into 3 1s. So this could get pretty brutal. So I'm kind of excited to check that one out. I believe that is it for my creature generators. So some of the other ones we have is a lot of draw stuff, like I mentioned. When this enters, the only thing is 3 blue, which is a little tough, but we'll see. But when it enters, you draw X cards, and whenever you cast a blue spell, tap a non-land permanent opponent control. So it's like a little bonus there. We have Heliod's to help with some removal and life gain. So this could really boost your life gain to cast something else if you had in your hand. So if you know, it's two times your life. So you tap 2 white and let's say 3. So you're tapping 5. You gain 6 life. Now all these other X spells cost that much less if your commander's out and everything. So Icy Blast, you could use this for kind of like removal. You know, it's tapping their creatures down. They don't untap during their next untap steps. If you have a creature for a greater, you should, in theory, what is Will's power? Yeah, he's not quite there, but in theory, you potentially could do that. But tapping down the creatures is never a bad thing. March of the Swirly Mist, love this card just in general, not just in this format here or for this deck. It's just a great way to either protect your stuff or tap down, or basically not tap down, removing their stuff from the game so you can swing through and for the game win. Sanguine Sacrament, so you're gaining twice life and then gets reshuffled in. That's always nice. And then this one I like because of what I was talking about with the untapping. You could, in theory, use this as the untap part of your commander. Most of the time you're going to be tapping down stuff. I don't think you're going to be utilizing the other part. Mass Manipulation, it's a little steep with the 4 blue, but if you get those 4 blue and you have, 10, 6 even X there, you're stealing 3 of the best creatures or planeswalkers on the battlefield. So I've had this played against me at one point. I'm like, man, I know it's steep with those 4, but you're only in 2 colors, so it shouldn't be that difficult to get this. So I kind of like this in here. And then the last thing would be the Sphinx's Revelation. So you're gaining life and drawing cards. So replenishing your hand, which is very nice in this, and gaining the life, which will help with everything else. Now, the hard part is with these, you're really wanting these to be your second spell. You want your other stuff to be gaining you the life. So you're not tapping mana and then gaining your life and then utilizing and then having to do the X again. So you're not unlimited with mana. So some of these I might have to get rid of as you're probably not going to use them that much. Because you don't want to use, like this one, if it didn't have the draw X cards and I was just gaining the life, I might not be inclined to use that one. So where's our other one? Didn't we have one that was just gain life? I'm hesitating on him. I think I will get rid of him for now. Sideboarding him. And hey, for once, Marshall Coup. This one I never use, but in this it's kind of perfect because you're making your tokens and then destroy everything on the board if you want. Like if you have that kicked all the way to, like I said, like play tested last night at 21. Yeah, I will sacrifice my commander to get 21 tokens and destroy the rest of the board. All right, so here is my lands. You can check that out. I do have the deck list. I'm not going to go through the lands so much. You do have the untapping. Where is it? Minimo? Is it Minimo? Where are you? I know I have it in here. Minimo. Oh, there it is right there. So I can untap a legendary permanent. So that's utilizing that part for my commander. Nimbus Maze, first time I'm ever going to put this in a deck, but I'm playing white and blue, so this actually should work out pretty good. It might be my first Azorius deck. I don't know if, at least it's the only one I have at the moment, so kind of interesting there. Just my first 2-color here, or Azorius. All right, now we get into like the tap-untap package. I kind of put this in there. I didn't know I have a place for putting Crashing Drawbridge. I want this in because I want to be able to use the commander the first turn. Crashing Drawbridge, if you don't have this in decks, it's very good when you're really dependent on haste stuff. There's a lot of big things that are going to hit the battlefield, so I really want this in this. It gives all your creatures haste, which is nice. Freed from the real, you're untapping it. You're able to keep doing this. So just this and this on a stick, you can keep doing it. Tap 1 blue, untap it, tap it again. Pretty nice there. Halo Fountain, a similar thing, but you're getting a little benefit off of it. You don't get to keep doing it like these two, but you can untap it. You get a creature. You could tap 2 creatures or untap 2 creatures. So if you have another one that's tapped, you can untap 2 of them and you're getting to draw a card off of it. So I think this is actually working perfect in here. Mage's Rightstone, untap a creature as a tap symbol. That one's okay. This one is a mono rock, which I like. Untapping there. We already talked about that. Puppet Strings. You know, I like that it has the tap in there, but I think that just might be too much because you're tapping 2 to do this. We'll put that to sideboard. Retreat to Core Elm. So we're using the landfall to untap. You could potentially do, this is really nice in this because if you have a fetch, which I typically play with about 5 to 7, I think I might have 7 in this one. So you play your fetch, you tap your commander after you've gained your life, play your fetch, untap it, tap it again, fetch, untap it. So you get 3 taps off of it. And so it's pretty easy to be able to tap your commander 3 times. Staff of Domination, you can untap a creature for 3 and you're gaining 1 life. I like that being in there, but that might be a little too steep for my liking, but we'll keep it there for now. Sting. So this is nice because it untaps at the beginning of combat. It has first strike as long as it, we don't care about that. It has haste. So there's 2 things. It gives the haste and the untap I like in there. So I think I'm keeping that for now. Teferi slows time. This is also an untap on your Planeswalker. What's it? Ultimate. Untap all permanents you control during each opponent's untap step. You draw a card during each opponent's draw step. So you're not counting on that you're going to hit that. But the untap part is kind of nice. I kind of dig that. 1,000-year elixir, you're basically using them a haste and untapping it. So this is very nice. I like this card a lot in there. And then Tide Force Elemental. Tap or untap another target creature with landfall. You can untap this. So it's doing a similar thing to Retreat, except you're having to tap 1 to do this. For now, I'm keeping things here. I have to cut 120, so we'll get to that when we get to that. All right, let's get into, what is this package? Removal. We already talked about a bunch of these. Fumigate would be kind of nice. Although, how I would utilize, I keep saying utilize. I'm going to try to stop using that word. It's becoming my crutch. I'm going to try to use this card more as my commander is not out. I'll wipe the board. You gain 1 life for each creature destroyed. And then you bring your commander, except you can't use it then. So that won't work the way I'd want it. You're gaining the life, which I like, but you have to have your hasty with your commander. So I don't think that one's going to work. I might get rid of the really spot removal. These will go sideboard for now because I have enough other. Do I have enough other spot removal? And, I should pull this up here so you guys can see this. The blueprint there. Oh, it's kind of blocking my card. Let's see if we can move that around a little bit. Let's get that down around that area. So what I want to do here, removal typically, I got my little trusty card right here. Removal is 7 to 15, and we're at 14 here. Winds of Abandon, the really nice thing here, and actually I do have Cyclonic Rift in this, and this will be the first time if I keep it in here. The only reason I have it is because the overload cost gets reduced by that much. So this only costing 2 if you gain the life. That's why I really like it in here. I'm going to get rid of Thieving Skydiver because you're really only getting rid of 1 thing. I don't want that in there. Light of Hope, you can either gain the life or you can destroy an enchantment, which is kind of nice. I don't know if I want that one as much either. We're going to do that one as a sideboard. I do like that it has the removal bit on it. And then this one is removal, artifact or enchantment, gain 4 life. It seems a little clunky. We'll keep these 2 in there because they're just good because it's anything. Oh, non-land permanent. This is permanent. So I'll keep those 2 for now. We're down to 11. I have more because the Cyclonic Rift, we'll get to that in a sec. A little bit of recursion. This has lifelink. So I have quite a few creatures in here to have the lifelink. So I think a lot of times what I'll be doing is on my second main phase is when I'm casting a lot of my stuff because I want to swing in with the angel. So this isn't actually an angel, even though it looks like she is. It's a human warrior. She has wings. But then at the beginning of your end step, you can return target creature with X or less, where it's the amount of life you gain. So that's kind of nice there. All right, now let's get into our ramp rocks. Ramp rocks section. We want ramp and rocks at 13 to 17. So we're at 13 now. We got our Arcane Signet. We got Chromatic Lantern, Decanter of Endless, Water. We already talked about that. Midnight Clock, Monocrypt, Land Tax. I haven't had Land Tax in for a while. Pristine Talisman. Just hitting your known ones. So we have Soul Ring, Talisman of Progress, Thought Vessel. Now the bonus ones, we have Smothering Tithe. Very nice to have. This will be nice, this Drake, because if it is reduced by, whatever amount, I'm just paying 1 blue. This comes out, you tap down some lands beforehand and, 5 lands at least. Well, 1 and then 4 other lands. So when it comes out, you're untapping all those, and now you can use, because that's the thing you kind of run into. The problem is it reduces the colors part, but not the colored part. So this will allow you to start casting more and more stuff. So I think this is going to be key in here. Staff of Completion. We have the Mono Rock in it. The Proliferate you're probably not going to use, and then the Draw is okay. I don't know if I really want to keep this in here. The Paying to Life isn't too bad because this is a life gain deck. So that's why I kept it here. For now, I guess I'll keep it there. But I'm a little on the side. We'll see. Tithe is a great card. Search your library for a Plains card, so it doesn't have to be basic. You can get your duels, your shocks. If you have fewer lands than target opponent, you may search your library for an additional Plains card. So potentially getting 2 cards off of this. Really like that in this and the white and blue deck. And then Battle Angels of Tyr. So this one's nice because it has the life gain potentially, except you're probably going to have the most life, so that might not work out as much. But it does the Myriad thing. So you could potentially be drawing cards. You could be potentially getting treasures and potentially gaining life. This is just a solid card. An Angel. This might actually turn into an Angel deck. All right, now we get... that's a lot of protection. A lot of protection. No babies here. 8 to 12. Okay. But this is like a game winner. All right, now you're starting to see some of the big guys. That's it. I did add in like Ghostly Prison and stuff as like player protection. When I normally talk about protection, it's like protecting your creatures and stuff. So like these Eerie Interludes, Cosmic Intervention, Flawless Maneuver. So this isn't truly 25. This is more of your game winner. That's protection. That triple white potentially is going to be nice. Clever Concealment. So this is off the Lord of the Rings set. Any number of target non-land permanents you control phase out. So I like that phase out part. And it has Convoke. So even if you aren't, most likely you're paying 2 white to do this. Collective Restraint. Creatures can't attack you unless their controller play X for each creature attaction, where X is the number of basic land types among lands you control. So at most, this is 2, but that's just like Ghostly Prison. That's just like our Propaganda. So it's pretty similar. We also have... Where's my 4th one? Oh, there it is. Norn's Annex. So they can't attack you unless they either pay a white or pay 2 life. That one's a little easier to do. But it still can hurt them. Oh, and Sphere of Safety. So we got 5 different ways for people not to attack me. Again, these aren't all going to stay in here. Let's just kind of go through some of these. So Eerie Interlude, Flawless, Ghostly, Ghostway. So this is removing each creature control from the game, then return them to play. I like this card. The only thing I don't like is Eerie lets you choose creatures. Ghostway will remove your tokens. So if you had tokens out, this kills them. Eerie, at least, like if they're targeting your commander and then you remove everything, you lose all your tokens because you don't get a choice there. So actually, I will remove that one from here. Eerie allows you to exile any number of target creatures. Grand Crescendo, I already talked about that one. Lae'zel's Aerobatics. That one's good. Lightning Greaves. Godforged Thopterek. I don't even know how to say that one. But legendary permanents you control have Ward 2. The key on this one is the lifelink too. So it's given it protection, and I know it's only 1, but 1 is allowing me to reduce all my blue. Keep the pillow for it. Allowing me to at least reduce everything, my white and blue spells, by 1, just with this one. So the more, and I'll have multipliers, life gain multipliers in here as well. Lightning Greaves, I already talked about that. We talked about Riot Control, gain 1 life for each creature your opponents control. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn. So you're probably going to cast this on your turn, but if you're sitting fine, you have other life gain stuff, this is a great one to have in your back pocket as a fog and gaining life off of it. So that one's kind of nice there. Spellskite, I might have enough protection in here that we might just remove. I love me some Spellskite. But it is an artifact. We'll do sideboard with spell. Semester's End is really fun. Exile any number of target creatures and planeswalkers. Does the same thing, and then at the beginning of the next end step, return them to the battlefield. So I like those words on these, because when people do board wipes, or when I do a board wipe, you're able to remove them and they don't come immediately back. And so you're not affected by the board wipe. I don't like the flickering effects where it comes back immediately, because it kind of kills you. So I think each one of these, end step, next end step, and where's our other? Oh, this one is everything. So you can foretell this one, which is kind of nice. So early game, you just pop 2, put it down, face down, and then later pay 2 for, and this is every permanent. If a permanent you control would be put in the graveyard from the battlefield, that also goes for your fetches and stuff like that, which is kind of a neat thing to that. Swiftfoot Boots, we're just trying to make it so we can use the commander as fast as possible and add protection. So that's why those are in there. All right, let's move into life gain spells. We already talked about that one. How about Azorius Charm? You can all your creatures gain lifelink, which is nice. Or you can kind of do a little bit of removal, I guess. You swing in with your attack, see what people do. Oh, they might be killing something of yours. You pop it. I like modes because everything's always different in games. Conjugate, 2 life for each creature on the battlefield. This could be brutal, especially if you have tokens, but it's everybody's creature. So for each creature on the battlefield, gain 2 life. And this is an instant, so you don't have to do it with will, but most likely you're going to do this to win the game, to do an X spell of some sort. So I really like this card. Festival of, what is it, Troken? You gain 2 life for each creature you have in play. So this is everybody for 4. This is just you for 1, which is nice because you're playing a lot of creatures in this. Target player gains 4 life. If you had a land enter the battlefield this turn, that player gains 8 life instead. That's pretty nice right there. Revitalize, your drawing card, replacing this card, gaining the life. So it's starting to trigger your will stuff going. So I like that. We already talked about Riot Control. Sanguine Sacrament. I love these recycling into your deck stuff, but you gain twice life. So that one is very nice there. Union of the Third Path, draw a card, then gain life equal to the number of cards in your hand. Remember, this one, we have a lot of draw stuff in here. So this one's probably going to do quite a bit of work. Plus, you're also drawing a card, so it's replacing itself. And then the last one is War Report. Gain life for the number of creatures on the battlefield, plus the number of artifacts on the battlefield. So this, I don't know which one's better. The 2 life, probably, but everybody plays Mono Rocks. So these are probably hand in hand really good there. And they're both instant, so I dig that a lot. All right. Whoa, this is a big one. Whoa, what is this one? Oh, it's all my life gain stuff. All right, this is where the cuts are going to come in right here, because I got a lot of stuff in here. But I want to show you them before I do my cuts. Of course, Aetherflux Reservoirs in here. Ajani's one of our game winners. All Hammeret's Archive, gain twice the life and drawing more cards. Love these cards all in here. Angel of Destiny. I have won with this card in my Duke deck because making Myriad and attacking with multiples of these. If you're gaining life, this is a very good card to have in here because you just have to have your starting life total is higher than 15. But not only that, but whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each gain that much life. So people might let you hit through. You'll be like, hey, you're pretty low on life. Let my creatures come through and let me gain my life. You won't die from this. You know, well, you could. They might not want this one to go through. Whoever's taking the Angel of Destiny, you don't want it to go through because the double strike, and if you have 15 more life, they're dead. But this is definitely a game winner. Do I have that as a tag for that? Yep. So there is a game winner, Day of Dragons in there. Angel of Vitality. If you would gain life, you gain that much life +1. So here's one of our bumps. Angel of Accord. Beginning of your end step, if you gain 4 more life, get an angel. Let's keep pumping that up. Approach of the Second Sun. I've never put this in a deck. You're gaining 7 life from it. So really, this is you're not utilizing, there goes that word again, utilizing everything. You're not using that 7 life on most occasions. You're probably getting that reduction of 6 and you're paying 1, gaining 7 life. So this is how I would see this one, because there is a lot of X draw spells, like I mentioned. We'll get to that in a little bit. What I would do with this one is if you've already gained, let's say we got 6, everything costs 6 less, and you have an X draw spell in your hand, what I would do is pay the 1, gain the 7 life. It goes, 7 down? And then you pay whatever, blue and a blue, and then that free 6 and another one, draw this back up, and boom, you just won the game without the counter spell. If somebody counter spells it, then you're kind of screwed. But you could potentially do this in one fell swoop. So like you win the game right on the spot. Archangel of Thune. Anytime you gain life, your creatures get bigger. We like that. This is dependent upon your opponent's searching. I don't know if I'm going to keep that. I do like the life gain in there, but this is most likely happening on other people's turns, and you really want your life gain on your turn. I like it, so I'm going to keep it there for now, but I think this might get a cut. Wow, I got a lot to cut, so we're going to cut it. We're going to do sideboard. I keep wanting that card to be in there, but it just doesn't make it. All right, so then Ariok Champion. These are our life gains for creatures coming into play. Bane, Slayer, Angel. So again, remember I'm saying, I think I will be swinging in and doing damage and gaining life, and then playing stuff a lot of my second main phase. Beacon of Immortality, double your life total. So this isn't dealing with life gain. You're just doubling your life. So you're not getting that benefit for will, but you're still doubling your life. And it's a nice life gain deck. So this one could be nice to tap 1 white and double your life total. Blind Obedience is going to be fantastic. We just had this played against us in real life. No, it was Commander Games on stream last week or 2 weeks ago. It does work, but it has the extort on it. So you can pay the 1, everybody loses a life, and you gain that much life. So you gain 3 life off of that, and then boom, your spells cost that much less. So this is a great, fantastic card in here. Boon Reflection, double the life. We were talking about her. Cleric class, if you would gain life, that much +1. If you gain life, put a counter on target creature. And then the last one is return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Gain life equal to its toughness. So it has a little bit of a benefit there. Cloud Blazer. I think I'm getting rid of this one, but it is 5. You'd gain 2 life and draw 2 cards right away. But I'm going to get rid of that one. Crested Sunmare. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain life, you get a 5/5 white horse, and your other horses have indestructible. So this one is not. It's nice because it is just anytime you gain life, you get a 5/5, at the end of the turn. So we have those other ones where you have to have a certain amount. We'll keep that for now. Donna Hope. If you're gaining life, you can draw cards. I like that. Daxos. This will be the first time I use this if it stays in, but when it deals combat damage, you exile the top card of a player's library, and then you gain the life from that. So again, we're doing our attacks, hitting somebody. Hopefully they have something that has mana cost, not a land. You get that, and then you can cast that card and spend mana as any color to cast that spell. Be nice if it was free. Yeah. I don't know if I want that one so much in here. We're going to do that one on the sideboard, but it's a good idea. All right, so Delusions of Mediocrity and Illusions of Grandeur. So these are huge. You play this, the Gloom of Upkeep, but you're gaining 20 life. You're gaining 10 life. So now all those spells, now imagine if you're able to tap them twice or 3 times, 20, 40, 60. Now your X spell is just insane. So This is a fantastic card, and in a pinch, you're gaining 20 life for a couple turns. So that's pretty nice if you wanted to combo with something else. Drogue Skull Reaver. Whenever you gain life, draw a card. Very nice there. Elixir of Immortality. Set this one up early. Then later you tap 2 colorless, gain your 5 life, shuffle your graveyard. Now your spells cost 5 less. Very nice. At the beginning of your upkeep, gain 1 life for each card in target opponent's hand. So I like this. These are what I want to have a little bit more of throughout the deck, is just static abilities that you're not having to tap mana, gain the life, and tap mana again to play your spells that you just now got a reduced cost for. This would be nice to have out at the beginning of your upkeep. This happens, so then you're like, hey, this player has 5 cards in their hand. I'll gain 5 life. So it's pretty nice there. Gold Forge Author, we talked about that. Heliod, Sun Crown. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on target creature or enchantment. Another creature gains life link. It's good. I'm just trying to decide if I want to keep it, because I do have to start making some cuts. We'll keep for now. Hushbringer. So a little guy with lifelink, but creatures entering the battlefield or dying don't cause abilities to trigger. Surprisingly, that helps a lot, but you have the lifelink. So at the very worst, you're gaining a life and getting your reductions on your cost of everything else. So I like this card. Ivory Tower for 1. Sure. And this is a drawing card deck. You're going to be drawing a lot of cards in this deck. This you should be hitting, especially if you don't have a maximum hand size. This has lifelink. Gives your other angels 1/1 and lifelink too, but really this has the lifelink on it, so I really like that. This might be the first time I get this in a deck, but Mangara, the Diplomat, so it has lifelink. And then a little bit of other bonuses. Whenever an opponent attacks with a creature, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you, so if they attack with 1, nothing happens, but if they attack with 2, you get to draw. Whenever opponent casts their second spell, draw. So there's double bonuses on that. So that'll definitely stay in there. Martyr of Sands. You're going to be sacrificing this, but revealing X white cards, and then you're doing it 3 times. You just need to show 2 cards, and now you got 6 life off of that for paying 1. I think that's pretty solid. Nykthos Paragon. Whenever you gain life, you may put that many counters on each creature you control. So imagine if you have Illusions of Grandeur out, or you have this out, and then you play Illusions of Grandeur. Now you put 20 counters on every single creature you have out there. It seems pretty solid. This is 6, so it's a little steep on getting out, but this could be potentially in the game-winning spot as well. Nyx Fleece Ram. So this is a static. Every upkeep you're gaining, or your upkeep, you're gaining 1 life. So it's helping you pump that for 2. That's pretty good. Nice little blocker. We already talked about that. Rocks. If you gain life, you gain twice that life, and it has lifelink. Righteous Valkyrie. Whenever another angel or cleric enters the battlefield, gain life equal to that toughness. I'm starting to think that angels really might be the way I go in this. Like, pretty heavy on this stuff, because there's a lot of angels, and you can gain a lot of life with this one. So you won't gain anything from this, but if you have enough other angels, let's see, what do we got? Angels, where are you? Is that off screen? I think it is. We got to get rid of other stuff to be able to see. Come on, show me my angels. We'll get it later. All right, so we got our Sakashima, so we're doubling this all up. Sarah's Ascendant, yeah, lifelink, and you're potentially going to be over your 30 life. So that this is very likely a 6/6 flying lifelink. Now this one's kind of crazy good. Shabraz, whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter and gain a life. So this gets bigger. You're drawing a card at the beginning of your upkeep, so you're gaining your life there. So this turns into a 4/4. You're gaining your life off of it. So now you already have your 1 trigger at the beginning of your turn. And then anytime that you're doing an X drawing spell or any other spells, this thing just gets huge. You keep gaining life. It's a very good card in this deck. Shadow Spear, of course, has the Death Touch lifelink, or not Death Touch, Trample lifelink. And then you can remove Hexproof and all that. Soul Warden, Soul's Attendant. Spark double, so we're in that same repeating this. It's almost like the double tapping or untapping. Speaker of the Heavens, so we're making more angels if you gain 7 or more life. It has lifelink and vigilance on it, so that's also a bonus. So that's kind of why that's there. But yeah, so I'm so I don't know if I'm going to gain 7 or more life. I mean, I will, but how often is that going to happen? I'm going to have to do a little more play testing. Sphinx's Revelation, I already talked about. Sun Droplet, which is nice because you're gaining life on other people's turns. Everybody's upkeep, you're gaining 1 life back, so if people are hitting you for damage. I use this actually with, what was it? Which land? I was using it with Ancient Tomb. So I did myself 2 damage, and then the next turn gained the life back, so it was like I didn't even take any damage. And kind of the cool thing is if you can combo that with your multipliers, so any of these other ones that say whenever you gain life, you gain twice that. Every damage that you take, you're gaining double. So those are always kind of nice. I used to have a 60-card deck where I based it around Sun Droplet. Sunspring Expedition seems bad, but it's actually really good. Like you're sacrificing it, but you play this early. And then you just wait until it's ready to just go off. So you get those quest counters on there. And then you're not paying any mana. You remove them. You gain that 8 life. And now everything costs 8 less. So I like this card. Plus you're gaining 8 life, which is very solid. Sword of War and Peace. So this is doing damage for how many cards they have in your hand. And you gain life for how many you have in your hand. So this, again, after your attacks, second main phase, that's when you're looking to take advantage of that. Slows Time, where you talked about that. The Book of Exalted Deeds. This one's going to probably go because the triple white. The bonuses aren't, it does go on an angel. Maybe I don't. If this stays an angel deck, like if I go heavy on the angels and kind of switch things around a little bit, this might actually be pretty good because then I put it on one of the angels. You can't lose the game. Yeah, maybe. True Conviction, we're getting the double strike lifelink. Valkyrie Harbinger. Beginning your end step, if you gain 4 more life, get a 4/4 flying angel. This has lifelink again. Venser's Journal, you have no maximum hand size. Beginning your upkeep, gain 1 life for each card in your hand. So again, we're getting this out so that we can gain the life and begin your upkeep and not have to tap any mana for it. So you kind of set this one up, and you have no maximum hand size, which is nice. Words of Worship, which is going to be nice if you're drawing a lot. This will help you get that life gain in there. If you're drawing 6 cards, you tap 1. I draw 5 cards. The next time you draw a card this turn, you gain 5 life instead. I don't know if it would eliminate all 5 of those cards or if you just, or all 6 of those cards or just 1. I'd have to look at the ruling on that. But this could be a good way to start the trigger if you had things in your hand and you're already drawing enough stuff. Your first card you draw that turn, boom, you just gain your 5 life. Now you have your wheel set up to go. Zurin Orb, it's 0, sacrificing the land to gain 2 life. I think this one you'd use more into trying to win the game. All right, so that's all our life gain. Whew, okay. So then I kind of went this route where I was like, hey, since everything's going to cost so much less, would you want to take an extra turn for 2 mana? Would you want to expropriate, take extra turns for 2 mana? Take 2 extra turns for 2 mana. 2. I will get rid of this one because you're tripling. I may triple 3 times. Then you're really dependent upon other people's stuff, but I might keep these in. I like this one because it's shuffling it back in. This one's multiple turns. This one's shuffling back in. This one has the miracle, and this one has 2 extra turns. So these are kind of the big dogs. They cost a lot. I focused on those, not the 5, the 3 colors and 2. I was looking for the big ones that did a lot of things. This one's big because the miracle cost. If you get it for the miracle, you don't even have to worry about getting this reduced down. So that's why these are in there. I don't know if they'll stay, but that's where we're at. All right, so this is where I started going with draw bonuses. Psychosis Crawler, if we stay with this, these all get bonuses from drawing. Whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. This one gets a 1/1 counter every time you draw a card. And then when it dies, you make it that many squiddies. This one makes big dudes. This doesn't sacrifice. You just keep removing the counters, and you get an 8/8 Kraken. I know Lowry has played this one before, and it's done some pretty good work. The 8/8 is no joke, but it can be chumped. It doesn't have any other special abilities to it, so it's not like Island Walk or anything like that. But Psychosis Crawler, this was the idea I really wanted to work, to do the X spells of drawing and then just killing the whole board. But there really isn't that many options with these two colors. And then you got Toothy, which is nice because this says whenever Toothy leaves the battlefield, so if somebody exiles it or destroys it, you still get to draw a card for each 1/1 counter on it. So these, if I go heavier on the X spells with drawing, I'll keep those in. But again, we are at 110 cards we need to cut. So I'm going to have to really start pinpointing what I want to do here. This is more of showing you, we're almost towards the end here, and we are 46 minutes in. Not bad. Ancient Silver Dragon. Nice thing is if this only costs 2, you got an 8/8 flying. If it deals damage, you're rolling a D20, drawing that many cards. And then for the rest of the game, it doesn't matter if this is gone or not. You don't have a maximum hand size. Blue Sun Zenith, Brain Geyser, Consecrated Sphinx, Echo of Eon. So we got, if we're doing the draw stuff, this will definitely stay in there. Emergency Powers. So we're doing some similar things where we're drawing 7 cards. This one's nice because you get to play something for free for 7 from your hand. If you cast this during your main phase, you may put a permanent with converted mana cost 7 or less from your hand onto the battlefield. So you get to play something for free pretty much. And then Fairy Mastermind. Again, it's a good card, but this is going to be happening on an opponent's turn because they're second and you're dependent upon the opponent. So we're going to get rid of that guy. Finale of Revelation. If it's 10 or more, you draw that many cards and you untap 5 lands and you have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Otherwise, you just draw whatever the X is. So again, we're doing another thing where we're not getting a maximum hand size, and this opens up your land. So this is untapping 5 lands. So imagine if you had, I don't know, what if your X was, we had free 6 mana or 7 mana. Then you're tapping 5, but then when this comes out, you're untapping, 5. You have 3 floating afterwards, or 2 floating or whatever. And so then you're able to use that for other spells after you've just drawn 10 and have no maximum hand size. Pretty solid there. Yes, the dickhead Jin Gataxias out, but if it only costs 2, this is just game ending pretty much. Myojin, so we're going to draw cards equal to the amount of permanents you control. Yes. So if this only costs 3 blue and it's indestructible until you remove that counter, and you can remove it at any point and then draw cards. Mystic Remora, I think I'm just going to get rid of that. It's good early game stuff, but we're going to have enough draw spells with everything else. Nasal Primal Tide. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, non-creature spell. So you're drawing on other people's stuff. I'll do that to sideboard. I do like the 5 reducing that way down, but again, that's just, you're depending upon other stuff, and it isn't that much of a game changer. I want these big spells here to be game changers. So this one, kind of like a neutered Omniscience in a way. Not really. It's not even close to that because you could play the top card. Well, you may play land and cast spells from the top of your library. Once each turn, you may cast a spell from your hand or the top of your library without paying its mana cost. If this costs 2, heck yeah, that goes out there. Pull from Tomorrow, Rhystic Study, Seagate Restoration. Draw that many cards. You have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. We have 3 spells that if we get these out, it doesn't matter if they get removed or, obviously this is sorcery, but the fun thing is this is also a land if you really needed it in a pinch. Early game, let's say you're just getting mana screwed and this is in there. Yeah, I like flip cards. The DFC stuff, having that option in there is always nice. Sensei is top. We got Stroke of Genius, draw cards. There's a lot to that one. At least it's not XX, but as long as you get that 2 out of there. So 1, 2, 3, you're paid 2. What is that? That's 5 to draw 2 cards. That might be a little too much there. Draw or Teferi Hero Dominaria. I was thinking the untap was right away, and I was thinking it was a permanent, so I think this guy's got to go. Master of Time, love this card. Drawing cards, this is just any blue deck this should be in there because it has a little bit of protection on it, and it's very easy to hit that ultimate. I've done it multiple times.
Oh, good for you.
It's just a good card, so this is definitely going to be in there. The Gaffer, if you're gaining life, you draw cards at the beginning of each end step. The One Ring, I'm for sure keeping this in here. This is going to fit better in Rowan, but it also fits in this deck because you're gaining so much life. You don't really care that this is hurting you, and you're just drawing more and more cards. So I really like this in here. Treasure Cruise, if this only costs 1 and you're drawing 3 cards, that seems pretty solid. Yeah, we'll keep that for now. And then we got Union of the... we already did that one. Well of Lost Dreams, whenever you gain life, put that... You may pay X where X is equal to or less than. If you do, you draw that many cards. We're gaining life. We can pay X. Especially if I got to figure out my other stuff where I'm gaining all my life. We'll keep it for now, but this one's probably going to get cut. All right, we get into the last little package. My Day of Dragons is way too big. This is not where it's normally supposed to be. Your Day of Dragons, we normally do 3 to 5. I kind of threw everything in here. Really what I would say my Day of Dragons would be is a Johnny, a Chroma. I don't think I would say he is the Ancient Gold Dragon. I just think it's a good, really high casting spell that if you can get out for 2 white would be very solid. We already talked about Angel of Destiny. That one I do consider a Day of Dragons. Archangel of Thune. Clone Legion. For 2, make a copy of everybody's creatures, yours included. That's a token copy. Yeah. But we're going to have to make cuts, gang. So we're going to have to lose some of this stuff here. I got to basically fine-tune what I want to do. Cyclonic Rift for the Overload to pay 1. But most likely you want Cyclonic Rift to be like right before your turn's going to start and really hurting people so that you have your mana open, you're able to do things. So I'm actually going to sideboard it because I try not to play Cyclonic Rift as much as possible now. It's a great card, don't get me wrong, but you are gaining your life, but remember this is only as a sorcery. So you don't normally want to cast Cyclonic Rift on your turn unless you're going in for the game-winning kill. So I'll put that there because you're going to be playing a lot of your spells on your turn. This just gets you the life or the game winning. It has lifelink built in on it, like that. I might just get rid of Test of Endurance because this at least has the life gain, so it fits in there. We have enough other life gain, but that's a good one to have in there. Storm Herd, if this costs 2 and then you get X, where it's Pegasi, where it's your life total. This is old school game winner, but in this deck it should be very nice to only pay 2. Omniscience, we talked about that earlier. That's the game winner there. Moonshaker Cavalier, or Calvary, sorry. This one, I can't wait to see how this one does. I got to get it first. So once this deck is done, I got to purchase that card. And we talked about that. And then Rite of Replication. Think of this, you're paying 2 blue and you get that kicker part. Let's say it's all thrown in there. You're creating a token. If it was kicked, you're doing 5 times of those tokens instead. So 5 of 1 creature. Seems pretty solid. It's always a good card. And then Sphinx of the Second Sun. So at the beginning of your post-combat main phase, you get an additional beginning phase after that phase, which includes untap, upkeep, and draw. For 2 mana, you get a 6/6 that you play it and you get another. It's almost like another turn. So at the beginning of your post-combat main phase. So yes, you play it on your main phase, you get another turn, basically. And then you get to attack again if you want. So, well, let's see. Post-combat main phase after you get an additional beginning phase after that phase. So, yep. So, all right. So that's where we are with all this. And all that, we only cut 19. Is that what it was? Because I was at 22. 19 plus, yep. So, what do we got to do here? We got to kind of figure out, what are we fine-tuning? I wish I could see angels, how many I have going there. Because we have tokens, we have a lot of creatures, we have a lot of artifacts, a lot of enchantments. We kind of got to get our head on a direction of where I want things to go. So, where is our first spot we should hit? Can I narrow some of these down? Let's get rid of some of these guys. Whenever you draw, I don't think I need that in there. We're going to get a lot of sideboard action. Teferi, is this good enough to... You gain the 2 life, so it does trigger that. So, up to 1 target creature, artifact. That one actually might be decent in this. I have said I'm doing a lot with my attacking here. You're gaining life off it. So I think I will keep War and Peace in there. And it's pretty good on the protection. You're going against red, which means you're protecting yourself from Blasphemous Acts. You're protecting yourself from white. So your Path of Exiles and your Generous Gifts and all that stuff are protected from there. So I think that one's actually pretty solid. I'm going to get rid of Zurin Orb. I think that's just too situational there. I think you're just not going to hit it as much as you'd like. If this did on each creature, I might be more inclined to use this, but it isn't, so we're going to do that. Let's work our way from the top to the bottom. So I like the double life gain. Archangel. If you gain 4 more life, it's an enchantment without doing anything else. If you gain life, I want the life gain doubler, so we're going to move that. If it was an angel with lifelink, or even at least an angel, I might be more on using that card. Boon Reflection, so we're doubling, double life total like that. We're adding +1 to life. Yep. Doop boop. Drogue Skull. Yep. Elixir. Yes. 2 later in the colorist form. I think that's a good one. This is, like I said, the static of gaining life. This gives you a little bit of protection and has a life link on it. So we're trying to have a lot of those life linkers. Just going to run through a lot of these. Now, if we have a lot of angels, we're getting there. We need to get rid of something that's 1 to bump this down. Okay. I think I know where I want to get to right now. Like I showed the idea and now I want to remove it because I don't think I'm going to use that anymore. Is the, you're depending upon your X spells and these being out. So I am not going to use these because I want to use the reduction of everything else. If there was more of these that I could use, then I might switch the deck around to the X drawing spells and then using, because really it's Psychosis Crawlers is gonna kill. This I'm removing 8 counters and making an 8/8 that could be chumped. This I need to die. This I need to die, and then this is adding only to 1 creature. So I'm gonna put this one on the sideboard, and everything else is gonna be removed because this just reminds me that possibility is there if I decide to go back to it. I think that's probably the best angle to go there. Okay. So we're under 200 now. Or we're only 94 to go. Clone Legion, it's good. But you're dependent upon your stuff and what other people have, I guess. I am more like the things that just get rid of everything. Like the one-sidedness. I mean, it is. You're getting a token copy of everything so I'll do sideboard because that is something that's pretty big there. All right. The dragon, I dig it. I'm almost leaning towards wanting this to be a game winner. Approach this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And more so using like this as you're drawing enough stuff that you're hitting enough of your game winners. And I wouldn't even say this is game winner. I'm going to do this one as protection. And I do have that as protection. We're going to get rid of that as I want to clean this up a little bit. And this one, I don't know. I might have to do a different category. How about we call this? I might change the X spells. Might be X spells and big creatures. I'm not going to change the name, but that's what we're going to actually do. These are going to be changed. Get rid of that. And it's going to go in with the X spells. That's how I'm going to use those. So this is how we're going to kind of get a... Oh, that's game winner, though. No, and we got life gain here. I'll get rid of that. We're just cleaning it up a little bit so I can organize. That's game winner. This is X spell. Man, yeah, so if 10 or more, you get that many angels. I don't know if we need to put that as game winner, but that one will stay a game winner. That one will stay game winner. And we'll put this one as an X spell as well. When I was initially making the tags, I didn't know exactly where I wanted everything to go. And we'll add this one to X spells. And then last, Storm Herd. Honestly, that one could be considered a game winner, but I will also add it as X spells. I'll keep it where it's at. Okay, so we have a big chunk of guys here that can win us the game. This kills some. They lose the game. In turn, kind of wins the game. So I like these. They're really big spells. But again, if we're reducing our spells by this much mana, it's not that hard to get these guys out there. Okay, so then he is a draw, but he's also an X spell. I'm going to add a little bit of that there. I want those dragons, and I love those dragons. They just do so much work. Okay, so Blue Sun Zenith. Brain Geyser, sorcery there. That's an instant. Only for 2 blue, which is nice. Consecrated. The nice thing is the shuffling. So 1, 2... And we have... I might get rid of Treasure Cruise. Yeah. Nope. I don't want to change tags. I'm going to get rid of it. And then... Smuggler's Share at the beginning of end step. Draw a card for each opponent who drew 2 or more cards. That's nice. And then create a treasure token for whoever had 2 or more lands enter. So if anybody's playing fetches, this should work pretty well. Gain life and draw cards. Gaffer. Seagate. Ristic. Whenever an opponent... I know what Ristic does. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. It doesn't fit with what I want to do. It's a good card. So we're doing sideboard because it's such a good card. But does Esper fit in there? First, I mean, you're drawing cards off. Esper is almost more fair. Although Ristic is just so good. How can you keep it out of a blue deck? But it's so annoying. It's on the sideboard. No, we have enough draw stuff. Okay, so we have 27 draw stuff. But also Esper doesn't fit in there either. First non-creature draw X cards or X's. Yeah, and whenever they're first non-creatures, this is we're gonna get this one to sideboard. Because what we really need to do is have a mix of life gain creatures along with the big guys. So almost need like a split of 50-50 of things that are going to get me life. And then the X spells come in. So we need life, we need ramp, and then the big guys. But we don't want to have too many big guys because then your hand gets flooded with all the big guys. So I think we're going to get rid of Windfall. Give that one to sideboard as well. Draw a card, then gain life equal to the number of cards in your hand. That works perfect. The Gaffer, whenever you gain life, you may pay X. I don't like that you're paying the X, but then you are drawing if you're gaining enough life. We're keeping it there because we're trying to get enough life gain stuff. So we get our... we need to get rid of more creatures so I can see how many angels we have. All right. The extra turns. Shuffling it. 2 extra turns. Yes. And yes. So we're going to get rid of Mastery. We'll keep 4 extra turn cards. Now we enter our life gain. This is where we have 52 different ones. But I need to see how many angels we have because we can go that route. I'm going to get rid of the Sunmare. It is not an angel, but it looks like one. It's going through for my easy cuts at this point. This seems just silly if you can stack your life gain stuff. And if we are playing angels, this is going to be really silly too. I don't know if we need to have Shadow Spear. You're not necessarily targeting. I love Shadow Spear, but I don't think in this case we really need it. Let's remove that. Shabraz, yep, that's going to stay there. Spark Double. Lifelink, we got more of that. True Conviction could be game winner as well. Adventurer's Journal, no maximum. Let's see, did we get our creature yet? Angels, we only got 9. Okay. I thought there'd be more of them. So there's only 9. Let's get rid of Book of Exalted Deeds because that doesn't matter so much. Beginning of each end step, if you gain 4 more life, you get an angel. Where's our other one? So this one is a life linker, which I like. But we had the other one that was dependent upon angels coming in. Where is she? There it is. Enters the battlefield under control. Life to the toughness. So since we don't have as many and we're not playing clerics and this doesn't have lifelink, creatures you control get 2+2. That's not enough. So that'll go sideboard. We do have a couple clerics, but that's not good enough. All right. Life gain spells. Creatures you control gain lifelink. Is there enough goodness to the other stuff? No. I like these, though. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Yep. The big life gain. That's not big, but at least you're replacing the card and starting your draw, like reducing everything by 3. Like, imagine this. You have these in your hand or this or whatever. You pay 2, you replace the card, you gain your 3 life. Now this costs 1, like it's pretty sick. And they're instant speed. So I kind of dig that. Instant. That one's sorcery. All right. Okay. Protection spells. I don't think I need as much of these guys hanging out. These are Ghostly Prison. Ghostly Prison is just better because I'm only playing 2, so we're gonna remove that, and we're gonna have enough creatures. I mean, we got 41 at this point. I know that'll go down. We got Propaganda. We got Ghostly Prison. Norns they can get around. Let's get rid of that. Sphere of Safety. How many enchantments are we playing at the moment? 22. So Sphere of Safety at the very bare minimum is at 1. For 5, but could potentially be 1. I think 3 in there is a good amount to protect yourself from being attacked. Mithril Coat, I like this card a lot. The Surprise Indestructible, which is very nice because it has the flash on it. How many spells we have that protect ourselves? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then Avacyn. Ooh, Avacyn should be in that X thing too. Because Avacyn is big. Okay, well, 8. This gain creature control, gain lifelink, and protection from all colors. So this is, I think, phase out like that. This allows them to die, but if they get exiled, you're turn, exile it instead. If a permanent controller put in the graveyard from the battlefield this turn, exile it instead, return it to the battlefield Okay, so it has to go to the graveyard. So we're kind of being specific there. These indestructible, but that's a freebie. That one's indestructible with tokens, and this is depending upon ETB triggers, which this deck isn't having a lot of ETB stuff. So we're going to get rid of this one. I love it, but I'm more focused on when you have ETB stuff with that. So we'll get rid of that one. March of the Swirling Mist, that's phase out stuff. Similar to that. Any number of non-land permanents you control. This one you can target anybody's. At the beginning of the next end step. And they get counters on them. Yeah. And then this is get a 1/1 counter and they gain vigilance if it's on your main phase. We got to get rid of some of this stuff here. We got Teferi's Protection in there as well. So how many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 protection spells, and then 10, 11, 12. Technically 12 other 13 if you get Avid, but Avacyn's going to be pretty much the game winner. Your stuff gains indestructible unless it gets exiled. I might get rid of this one. And I don't know if I need to go Mithril Coat because it's just protecting the one and I'd like to protect more. So we'll get rid of that. I love Mithril Coat, but we need to protect more than just one creature. I like, because it has the tap thing, I normally have cut these a lot, the Swiftfoot Boots and Lightning, but I need kind of the hasty stuff with it. Flowerless Maneuver, Eerie. The exile part is nice because any number phase out. I like the Convoke because you could bring that all the way down to 0. All right, we're doing some good cuts. We're down, what is that? We had 22, so 20, 45 cuts already. Doing some work. All right, Monorox. I don't know if I want to touch much here. We got this Angel does a lot of work. Everything else is pretty golden. Your actual rocks is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I want 13 ramp rocks, but then you have this guy, which would be 12, 13. And I would kind of consider these that. Draw a card for each opponent. We'll do 2 more. Treasure. 13, 14, 15. I think our rocks were in a good spot. I think we're sitting pretty with that. And again, Monocrypt is nice in this deck because you're gaining a lot of life, so you really don't, that doesn't matter as much. All right, so we got Flying Lifelink, removal, Hullbreaker Horde. Now imagine if you're everything costs less and now you're bouncing stuff. Return target spell you don't control the owner's hand, so you can play stuff at instant speed and kind of counter spells. And this one can't be countered, which is nice. And then return an on-land permanent to its owner's hand. This got used against me in Commander Knight. That's a good card. All right, we're going to get rid of Teferi Time Raveler because that really just doesn't fit in what we're doing. I think everything else can stay in. We got some nice little removal things. Winds of Abandon. These will get rid of some of the creatures. This will get rid of... So we have 1, 2, 3... 4 non-creature removals and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creature removals. I think that's a good mix. And I need, how much of my removal? 7 to 15. So we're in that range. I think our removal package is sitting pretty good. Tap untap stuff. We might have to hit some stuff up here. The one thing I would say is 1+1. I guess the haste though. I do want that there. Haste, haste, no haste. Let's get rid of the staff. On your lands, we need to get rid of stuff. So I think this is going to be our, we'll go to sideboard with that. We'll go to sideboard with you. I love this. This is haste. These are abusable. So I like that. This is not abusable, but actually has, if you're 15. So imagine you cast one of those other X spells. This potentially could be a game winner in a way. You have one of those X spells in your hand for, making a bunch of creatures. Well, if you had 5 white, that's a lot, but you had that open, you can just win the game outright right there if this is out in play. So, yeah, I like this in there. I might get rid of this because this just focuses on just you can only do it once. Yeah, we'll remove that. These give the haste and the untap. This one allows you to do it there, but this one you do at the beginning of your untap, or each combat and untaps an equipped creature or that equipped creature. So I like that. Gives the haste and everything there. So I think I like what we have for our package there. Untagged lands, and then we got our X spells. How are we going to get down to 72 cards? Damn it. Oh, I guess I know. We're going to get rid of this. It doesn't seem very game winny. Let's do a couple of these. So we got our dragons. We got Avacyn. Gaining control of stuff is kind of nice. That's removal. Disorder. Exile target creatures, then investigate X times. Return exile cards to the battlefield tab. So it is kind of almost like a protection. I should actually add that into protection. No, it isn't protection because it comes right back. That's that flicker effect I was talking about. Exile X creature cards, then return the cards to the battlefield tab. So it opens them up, but I don't think it's good enough to what I want to be doing. That's XX. This is making them basically take turns off to bring stuff back out, and then you're drawing for it. I really like that in this. Finale, yep. These are, I think what I'm going to be doing is getting a bunch of the creatures stuff out, and then we protect them with our other stuff. Icy Blast. Let's remove that one. Creatures, yep. Right of Replication. I like it, but do I like it good enough? I'll go sideboard for now. Secure the Waste. The 1/1s don't seem to be, like the other guys are 2/2s. That one's a destroy all. This is a 2/2 with a potential to get bigger. This is protection. This is a 2/2 with a 4/4. Like the other ones just do more. This one just seems bleh. It's good. I actually used this in a 60 card deck once, but I don't like that one as much. So we're going to move that one to sideboard. This is dependent, like it's your life game, like what your life's at. Yeah, that's pretty good. This one shuffles back in, and this has the remove. This is potentially game winner there. Okay, so we're down to 67 cards. Sideboard, we're already 26 deep. Okay, so we just went through this a second time and cut another 20, 30 cards. So let's kind of fine tune some things here. What's our creatures at now? 40. Now we can see the whole thing. I need my other drink. Ice drinks are delicious. Sparkling water stuff. Okay, so the idea is to get to these big guys, right? So we want to keep our X spell drawing stuff. I don't know if we need the reshuffle stuff necessarily. I think we want all these X spells of drawing because then we can go over the top with it. So I may, I got rid of the other one. So we're going to get rid of that. You get that to the sideboard. Emergency powers. I mean, that's big. Hand and graveyard in the library and draw 7 cards. Exile. And this one you can't reuse again. So we're going to throw that one into the sideboard. Myojin. It's big. Is it game winning? I mean, it probably is. Because you're drawing a card for each permanent you control. But I think it's not as, for how much it is, it's not as much game winning as I'd like. Smuggler's Share. Gain life, gain twice. Yep. I like everything that's here. Smugglers might be one that I'm looking at popping away. If I had enough, like this is nice because it works with the food stuff. But is it good enough that if I'm only drawing off my turn? I don't know if that's good enough. I'm going to do that one as a sideboard too. One ring there. This one I keep coming back to because you're gaining that life. So it's already past your commander doing its tap thing. We'll keep it for now. Everything there. Union of third path. Draw a card. Replaces itself. And then draw this one if we're in a pinch later. You can gain life if you have something that you're static drawing stuff. I may get rid of one. I don't have a Nexus of Fate. So I don't want to spend $21 on it. So we're getting rid of Nexus there. Time Stretch I do have. Expropriate I do have. Beacon of Tomorrows gets shuffled back in. We'll get that one to sideboard too. So we'll have our 2 life gain or extra turn stuff. This is 2 extra turns. This one's probably an extra turn or 2. So keep those 2 there because they can be a lot more brutal. Okay. By voter and gain control of it. Yep. I have yet to play an Expropriate. I don't think I have that in a single deck. So this, if it makes the final cut, would be the first deck that has it. All right. Boom, boom. Lifelink. Yep. We're keeping those. Flying to gain life. Yep. We're doubling that. Blind Obedience. We want our multipliers to stay. Elixir. I'm going to go sideboard with that. We got to move things out. Ivory, Hushbringer, Libra, Mangara. In theory, this one should be, especially in this, I think I got to keep it in here because this could really, really do some nice life game or some game-winning stuff there, especially with all your tokens. Yeah, this has to kind of stay there. And the thing is, you got to think about that. That 4, hopefully I can get this out for 2 white is the idea there. Going back and forth. Creatures that have double strike and lifelink. A lot of my stuff already has that. So we have the 3 that turn into anything I want. So I could pick more of other things I have. So I'm probably okay with those staying there. True Conviction I might sideboard. This is no maximum hand size thing. I like that. All right. Oh, okay. So we are an hour and 24 minutes. We have cut a total of 63 cards. And we have 50. Oh, so we're over halfway of what I need to cut. That's not bad. I think the upside, like this is 2. Yeah, it's good for getting you that. Well, how many life gain spells do we have? Gain life, gain life. The upside of these are so much bigger than this one. So we're going to get rid of that one. And that's a 8 life gainer. That's huge because we're trying to get that life gain as big as possible to then use will to just use one of the X spells to win or do something crazy. And I think I'm fine with a little bit more protection stuff, because what I want to do is, let's say we did this one, 8 life. Okay. And we had White Sun's Twilight or something like that. One of or Marital Coup or whatever, Martial Coup. So if I was able to play another spell like Eerie Interlude, so I tap, now my spells cost X less. We paid already 2. Pay another 1 for Eerie Interlude after you tap. Now you drop down White Sun Zenith. All your stuff is either protected or whatever. If you do Eerie, if you do this, any of the protection stuff, you can do a one-sided board wipe and then get a bonus from all the bumps you get from that. So I think there's a couple ways that you win this game, is by removing your stuff easily, because it only costs you 1, and then just remove everybody else's. So I think that's why also Cyclonic Rift you don't really need in here, because you're going to remove everybody else's stuff. I think I'm going to get rid of Sphere of Safety. I like it. I think we're going to have enough creatures. We have 38 at this point. I know we have a lot of cuts to do still. Semester's End. I like these ones with the bigger cost there, because then we can get rid of that. That has the life link built in on it. Of course I'm doing this. I'm always going to be, I said I was going to be 2 hours long with this, you bastard. And my cuts take so much longer. It takes so long to do this. But I started out with a lot of cards. I probably should have pre-cut ahead of time. I think I'm basing this too much situational. I think it will be good, but yeah, if I'm already contemplating taking it, I might as well get it out of there. And Smothering, you're going to get treasure. Smugglers, it's very dependent, so we're going to do that. And we have enough card draw. We're going to do that. Now I think we're set with our rocks. I don't think I'd mess with any of these anymore, so rocks are good. Here's our removal. And I think we talked about that already. That removal package is pretty good. Tap on tap stuff. It does have the life gain. I keep going to Teferi that I'm going to cut it. And then I'm like, wait a second. That little bonus to the life gain is pretty nice. And you can kind of tap down stuff. Tap the chosen permanents you don't control. You're most likely untapping your stuff. Untap target artifact, untap one target creature, and one target land. And then you gain 2 life. I like it. Hasties. Haste. How many hasties? 1, 2, 3. And my protection, where is that at? Well, then you got the boots. 4, 5. So we got 5 haste enablers. Oh, your Niners are playing. That's what you're watching. Are they winning? What's the score? I almost put in, I had Giants running back, and then he got injured. So I picked up the backup, and I was going to put him in, and then I was like, they're going against the Niners. I shouldn't put him in. All right, 55 cards to cut, gang. I think this is just too much. If you can get those X, you could really... Oh, they won 30-12. Okay, cool.
Oh, good for you.
That's gaining control of 1. That 4 is a lot. We're going to get that down to sideboard. I want to use this. Gain X life and draw X cards. That's a lot, though, but you're gaining life with it. It has both whammies I want, but I keep stopping at that and I have 55 cards to cut. Oh boy. The dragons. The problem is you got to wait a turn unless we get the hasties out there. And that's getting the tokens that I want to do, and this getting my draw that I want to do, and gives me that no maximum hand size. Dang. Okay. I hate cutting stuff. Can't I just make a deck with 154 cards? Ugh. I'm going to do something really quick. I just got to see it. Just looking for some land in here to kind of just get a little quick start on this. Okay, so if we drew, throwing that out there. Next turn, draw, soul. Too bad we don't have a white. Next turn. Oh, we're not going to get a white here. Let's pretend one of these is white. Boom. Get that out. Boom. 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 Next turn. Just because we have 155 cards, we aren't going to hit a land. So then we need to gain life. So where are we going to gain our life? Right here. So we're going to tap. We're going to go like that. Let's say one of these is white. I'll tap the blue one. Reveal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards and gain 15 life. But there's nothing in here that I would do at that. Well, if I wanted to do this. So I could probably, if I was really thinking about it, I'd be like, okay, I think expropriate is the one we'd want to hit. So we tap the white, we hit the 2 blue, and now we're multiple turns or taking people's shit. Early game, this kind of would suck, actually, because people would be like, well, yeah, go ahead, take my stuff. And, oh, okay, I guess I'll just take your land. Okay. I just wanted to kind of do a quick look at it. I hate having to think. I hate cutting cards. All right. Extraordinary Journey. It seems fun, but I don't think that's going to work as well. We'll go to that to sideboard. Drogue Skull. Yeah, that's good. I like that. I like these big spells there, but we need to keep all our life link guys and things that are going to enable the life gain. The twice as much life stuff. Do I like that better than the Rhino? But no, because this one has the life link built in on it. And it would get reduced potentially if you're gaining life. So I kind of want to keep the lifelink duder in there. But what I'm almost thinking is that some of these, like giving +1, I don't think that one's good enough. Because really you just need to gain 2 life, 3 life to get things started. Because then everything's reducing itself. So we don't need to go nuts. The nuts part, this one, I would save this for towards the end of the game. You know, when you have an X spell that's going to win you the game or get you something else out. Yeah, and I'll probably get rid of that one too then. Sideboard with that. Because if they have lifelink, then I'm keeping it. And this one has lifelink. This one kind of has lifelink and advantages, you know. I like that shuffles back in, and doubling your life could be brutal. That wins you the game potentially there. Kind of flying through these delusions. Mediocrity. That one's nice because it doesn't have the cumulative upkeep. So you tap that, gain the 10 life, and everything costs 10 less. Then you hit an X spell, and then you're golden. The Sakashimas, those are the ones I'm like, should I? But having multiples of being able to do that is always good. That's the hard part is if you guys play blue decks, do you just always play the 3 in there? You know, like it's hard not to because it's like, why not have more of my commander? Sphinx's Revelation. That starts our life gain trigger there. Fencer's Journal. You set that up. Cut 5. Nope. I mean, I cut now. I just went over the 70 mark. 71. Or on an hour 35. All right. Of these spells, we need the spells, though, in there. Are any of these meh? Prevent all damage. I like that. That starts it off. That's an instant. That's the only sorcery there for each creature you have in play. Man. So now I'm like, what are the game winners? Where are my X spells again? What do we hit? If it fits with the deck. Yeah, but it fits with the deck if you want more of what you have. You want your commander, you want more of it. If you had multiples. Okay, so the dragons, I really want them in. But my problem with them is they get immediately targeted. And what I'm almost seeming like I want to do is, not almost, is what I'm doing, is I'm trying to do a bunch of tokens, bunch of draw. So I think I got to cut the dragons. Damn it. This is just total protection. All my other X stuff is pretty good. The double turns is very nice there. With blue and only play Sakashima in 2 of them. Yeah, I have a 5 color stuff and I don't put Sakashimas in. And as you can see, Helm of the Host is not in here either. Except as an additional. I really want to play them, but where's our untapped stuff? Maybe what I will do, Will's only 3 to come out, so that's kind of the nice thing. We're going to throw the Sakashimas in the sideboard. And I will clean up sideboards later. Sakashimas and Spark Double. Got the lifelink on that. Got lifelink there. We got all our lifelinkers. Sun Droplet is going to be removing on other people's turns, so that isn't going to help as much as I'd like. I want life gain on my turn and not others' turns. That doesn't matter as much to me. I love Sun Droplet, but it's not going to fit in what I want to do because this is sorcery speed, so you want to be able to... You'll gain a life off of on your turn. I should see. Did Sun Droplet say is it a you may? I just want to see that again. Does it pop it back into place? You may remove a counter. Interesting. But we just got rid of all of our life doublers, so that one will just keep removed. Because Ivory Tower is good because you're most likely having more cards in your hand because you have a lot of draw spells. Boon Reflection. Gain twice that, so it's our Rocks Mender. So I might get rid of Boon because we need this guy at least gives you lifelink on him, and Boon does not. So we'll sideboard that one. Lifelink on that. So this is going to be, and that's why I was like, it's not necessarily not turning this into a pillow fort because I'm going to be attacking because I need the lifelink stuff to be able to do the other stuff. And this is only on your, okay, so now that one doesn't fit because I'm not getting the doublers necessarily or the multipliers. So we're going to get that one there. Build a better... See the shirt, buddy? This is my build a better deck. I always do it when I'm building decks. But I got to tell myself. Come on, Adam, build a better deck. All right, let's start from the top again. It still feels like I'm never going to get this done. That's how it always feels with me building decks. I've thought about building a stacks deck. I actually told Lowry once I wanted to build like a white deck that was just all the good stuff, like taxing shit. But I'd need to get black in there to be able to do a true like nice stacks deck. But white has so many good cards. It was like, I want to build a good white, just all good card white deck. When are we getting like, yeah, so this will be fantastic in there. Consecrated. Consecrated doesn't actually fit, but it's a good card. Right? It fits because I could get this cost down to 2 is where it fits. And this is just dickhead card, but it's also, people are going to try to remove it. I don't know if I need senseis as much in this because you're trying to draw so much. I mean, how many draws? I got 18 draw spells. What the hell do I need? 12 to 18 is where I want it. I feel weird getting rid of senseis. These two feel like they should stay in here because of getting 2 extra turns for 2 and expropriate business for 2 seems pretty amazing. You're going to keep gaining 1 life for each card and target opponent. Yeah, that's a bigger... You're going to gain a lot of life off of that. That just starts your trigger going. Again with this one too. Okay, well, we're getting rid of the pillow fort stuff because I think we have enough creatures. And I don't typically like to play those anyways very often. All right, what do we got for protection? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a lot. I think we'll get rid of Semester's End. I like being able to have... This is free in a way. This one, being able to have the X in there is nice. Eerie Interlude allows you to choose what you wanted. This one could be, even if you don't have your commander out, could be free by tapping your creatures. All right. I think I'll keep all those. I always want to cut the greaves and the boots just because I don't like, they just get used all the time, but I do want my guy to do its thing on the turn it comes out, and this adds the protection in there. So in this case, it is going to stay. I don't think there's anything else I see in here I'd want to remove at this time. The rocks, we already discussed that was a good place to have them. All right, so we're at about 15 minutes left. I might have to cut it off and then come back with the final cuts. Actually, I'll probably come back with, I'll cut all the stuff and then do a final deck tech of what I did. Sphinx of the Second Sun. So you get to untap and then you get to do it again. So that also fits in almost the untap thing. So I like Sphinx in there because it fits in multiple things that I'm trying to do. Yep. Triple white and this. What do we got for our X tokens? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is by far the weakest one. Yep. I think that's where I want it. We got 2 of them that are removal spells with this and this. This is really good. I dig this one so much better than this card. You're gaining the life on top of it. It's just a better card. All right, back down to the sideboard. And we are at 39 left. Okay, it's starting to feel a little better. Feel a little better there. Dig it, dig it, dig it, dig it. This I like that it adds a protection. I'm going to get rid of one of them. This one adds the haste. The only problem is you got to pay the 2, but it gives me the haste on that. This one doesn't, but it gives the protection. Haste, that's good. Untapping, and we also have a land that does it as well. So I'm good with that. Teferi. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library. Okay, so it adds a little bit draw in there too. That Teferi is actually pretty decent. And each one is doing like the plus. There's your gaining your life. Doing your commander more than once. And potentially untapping your mono rocks and your a land. Then your -2 if you're in a pinch and you need to draw some cards. You look at the top 3 and you get one of them. And then if you ultimate, which I never really count on that unless you're playing a deck that you're meant to do that. But if you do, it's not crazy. So people might let you hit it, but untap all permanents you control during each opponent's untap step, and then you draw a card during each opponent. So it's not game winner, but it's good. So people might let you get that more. But I never count on the ultimate unless it's Teferi, Master of Time, which is also here. Staff of Completion. Removing that one. Ooh, where's my rocks at? Getting a little lower on the rocks. Is there good enough stuff in here? No. We're going to remove it. I can't get rid of any more of these. That is it. And I need to get rid of the printing on this because I don't like the look of that one. My favorite is this one. There we go. That's better. That one just bugs the crap out of me. If you want to get them cheap because I don't like that one. I think you can get those damn cheap. All right. Am I just too dependent on Avacyn as one of my big guys? Should I just stick with the X spells? All right, back to the top. Probably my last run through the top to get rid of the last cards, and then I'll have to do the final cuts off camera, I think. Blue Sun Zenith, we got a triple. It does shuffle, but it's triple blue. I love the double blue, double blue. We're going to get rid of one of that. The triple blue is a little too much. Seagate for triple blue. I like better because you have no maximum hand size after that. One ring. Oh, yeah. That's tough. It's not getting reduced when you come out because it's an artifact. It's going there. And then we get how many creatures? Now we're down to 30. Now we're starting to get lower on our creatures. We might want to not cut much more of the creatures. Yeah, I see your comment there, Wrench. I may get rid of Greaves and Boots because we have some other haste enablers. And I have spells that are my protection. And now that I got rid of those dragons, I'm not as concerned with these. I wanted those a little bit more when it was having those dragons out so I could hit those up. So I might even get rid of Crashing Drawbridge. Yeah, we're going to get rid of Crashing Drawbridge. Untap, 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 untap. Pseudo untap with haste. It's not untapping at will. I like these. So we're going to get rid of that one too. All right. We got 5 different things that do that. We have 30 cards left to cut. We got a removal there. Hullbreaker Horror is, or yeah, that one's going to be pretty nice there. Recursion, we already talked about. Our rocks are good. Protection. I think we got a good amount of spells there for our protection in a way. And this is life gain built in on that. Okay, now that we're getting a little lower and we're getting towards the end of the time here, let's do a little more playtest just to kind of see how things are flowing. Okay, so we got 2 lands. I like to start with 3. I was going to say, if we have a rock in there, I just run with it. Let's restart and get a 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have 4. Let's do it. So start the turn. We would drop what? I'd probably throw the Ancient Tomb out there. Next turn. For 3, we're not going to get much out there. So we do that. Oh, I guess we would get Sword of War and Peace out. We take the 2. Next turn, go fetch a land. Just going to grab whatever's on the top. Give me a land, give me a land, give me a land. There we go. Yeah, we'll throw that out. Close. We'd actually, let's pretend that's a duel. That's what I would go grab. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got to get him out there. We take another 2 damage. I go to our next turn. That out. So now we need to start trying to figure out life gain. So now we don't have it. Oh, we do. So we go 1, 2. Another 2 damage. He swings in with Vigilance, which is nice. And then I would gain 1, 2, 3, 6 life. Okay. So now you tap, and now everything costs 6 less. So I'd go blue, white, probably. And run out this for 6, 7 maybe? Yeah, I'd drop that for 7. So we get 7 of these little dudes. So next turn I'm swinging in for quite a bit. Oh, yeah. All right, so then first things first, we swing. We gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 again. Tap him. We swing our 2s to kill this, and it flips over. Turnover. So now we have draw 2 cards, discard, unless you discard a creature card. So I would draw 2 cards, discard a land. Now we play a land. Everything costs 6 less, so now we can pay 2 blue. And he's out there, and then we play this. And now we're bouncing stuff, and then, yeah, now it's starting to go. And then you go, let's just say another 2 blue. Let's just say we had it. Draw 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mana Crypt, Ivory Tower. We probably at that point, let's see. You're just bouncing the shit out of everybody. Midnight Clock goes out. You probably could get that out as well. So now you've just bounced 1, 2, 3, 4 cards to everybody's, or whoever you wanted to bounce. So that actually worked out pretty good. All right. So I just wanted to see running that a little bit just to see how that. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. So you're kind of a little set up, but the hard part there is, if you noticed, was the only life gain I really had was attacking with the sword on there. I didn't have another enabler until I drew just there. Let me just see. Restart. I need enough good enable. Well, I guess I would have got it with Donna Hope. Oh, no, not Donna Hope. I'm thinking of, what is it? The one where he does the expropriate. Oh, that was what I had out. I didn't have Donna Hope before. So Plaza of Heroes, next turn, that out, next turn, that, him out, next turn. See, we need a little bit more of our life gain in there. So now we have 4, but we have life gain there, but that's not going to help because you're going to tap the 2 and 2, and you're going to gain life, but then you can't do anything about it. So we probably, because we would have this, throw this out there, +1 it, I guess, and untap that, and tap something else and gain 2 life, and now I could reduce this by 2, but really couldn't do anything that turn. Okay, let's get out of there. We'll do Goldfishing later, but I just wanted to, I'll probably test it more when I'm not recording. All right, so we have the Vigilance Lifelink. We can't get really rid of much more of the creatures. I might get rid of Omniscience. Allowing me to cast for free is very nice. Jingataxius. What am I at? I'm at 131. See, I need more of not spells that are going to give me the life gain. Unless they're cheap. This one's going to cost too much. So I need that one gone. Protection. Draw a card, then discard. We're not gaining stuff from that. I love this card so much. I want it to stay in there. Sensei, I'm going to move to sideboard. I know. I got rid of Senseis. This is like the second deck that doesn't have it in it. It might come back. Beacon isn't giving you life. Blind Obedience is what I was referring to on the other one. I must have had Donna Hope on that other game. I'm starting to get burnt out, gang. Yeah, we're at the 2-hour mark anyways. Okay, what are we at? We're at 1. Let's get to 25 cards. So let's cut 4 cards and call her a night. 4 cards. I like the phasing out part. These hit my tokens, though, so it doesn't protect. We're going to phase out. Indestructible. Because I'm making tokens, I think Eerie has to go. And this is on opponent's turn. Gain 1 life for each creature your opponents control. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn. But this is all opponent's creatures, so this could be very helpful. That's that one thing. Like, we need more of these kind of spells. All right, 3 more cuts. 3 more cuts. Nothing with the lands. Removals. We need to have removals. We got our untappies. And we got our XX spells. Which actually that one dude should be in here that I played on that one. Love the removal there. Stormherd. We're trying to do the tokens part. Like, that's really what we're going for. And then hitting with Moonshaker. I might get Battle Angels of Tarkir out. I don't want to cut creatures as much, but I love this card. At most, you're gaining 3 life, but you're probably the one with the most life. So that's what your point of this is. And draw. I love it so much, but I think I got to go with it out. And that's it for, okay, these are true rocks. So we got rid of the only one that was not a rock anymore. That was a creature rock. Then we got to do 2 more cuts here. Two more cuts. We're not going to do 2 of these. Do 1. Expropriate allows people to, they can choose their stuff. If they want me to take stuff, I can take stuff. All right, we need 1 more cut, and we're going to call it. That's right at the 2-hour mark. Game winners. See anything out here? Brain Geyser, like it. Beacon, Finale. Jin. Gives us some of our life gain there. Seagate. It's a triple blue. Triple blue. We're getting that out because that 4 isn't really going to remove much. All right. There we go. We're down to 125. This is my deck. It's done. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, okay. So 125. You love the Battle Angels so much. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whatever. Tarkir. They're so cool. What is it? What is that one again? Of tier. Yeah, I always say it that way, don't I? All right. My brain's mush. 2 hours of doing this. I got to call it quits. All right. So here's how this is probably going to work. I'm probably going to work off camera with this, the last 25 cuts to figure out what I want to get rid of. Going to play test it a little bit. Once I get it all done, I think what I will be doing is the Goldfishing next, just to kind of show you guys how that all runs out. And then I will do a final spotlight of what I decided how everything was going to work out. So, and then we'll get a play test going at some point here in the coming weeks. So Larry will get his deck done and his Rowan deck, and then we can get a Commander game going. So thank you guys for joining. Remember, if you like this video, if you make sure to subscribe or like the video, and also if you aren't subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe to this. Thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you guys later. You have a good night. See ya.